Alright, Kundalini Sensations during meditations, the topic of this one. So, I get a few questions when people asking me, hang on, I'm getting this unusual feeling, when I'm meditating or I'm doing my beautiful spiritual practice in my pranayama. And, they're not sure what it is, what is going on. So I thought I'd, explain a few things. So, without doubt, every single time Mother Kundalini, Kundalini Shakti, lots of other names, energy, is always there to support you and help you every single time. I've had lots of these sensations for a number of years now, and they've always given me signs and clues to what to fix next. Because I'm a practical fix it kind of guy. And let's face it, like when we have these sensations that is a bit unusual and there's not a lot of people who can explain or understand these things, there's indecision, there can be some fear there, there's lots of questions. So early on, like I found in my spiritual journey, I'd feel maybe just on the outside a bit like a tingles, like there was like a goosebumps or an energetic sensation or a vibration sensation, I tend to call them. That was great. It was like, ooh, this feels good, this is different. And then later on I had like an ajna or a third eye. It felt like someone was pushing it and then had a bit of string and was pulling it out. And it had the old Japanese rising sun flag symbol. Like there was a point in the middle and it felt like there was rays of sunshine coming out of it. It's quite unusual. So that was just like, that was decalcifying and awakening. Most of the time it was generally in the body because I like to be in my body. And what we tend to do is place our emotional imbalances and that perspective on that particular experience, and that generally twists it and doesn't help it because sometimes our marvelous mind plays tricks on us. The key is to fix these things, and the mind becomes a lot more of our friend rather than a prisoner for most people. So for a lot of people, they'll tend to have maybe like an area, say their intestines, getting some action, something happening going on, something vibration. And then they might judge it and go, ooh, hang on, that means it's wrong. No, it's just a sign that your nervous system and your spirit and your goals and your guidance is guiding you to that particular spot to, improve. So, and then a good colon cleanse is great for that. Extra water, asana practice, Bikram yoga, awesome, sweating it out. And then what I found for me was it would move to organs. So for a while my liver was my biggest imbalance. So it would vibrate. I'm like, ooh, what's going on there? So I'd gone in to myself, totally ignored everything that was outside of my outside world by creating beautiful meditation space. Lying down I found better for me, there's less muscle use, simple, right? And then later on, once I started cleaning that, the gallbladder would have a little vibration sensation. It's just, oh, okay, that's interesting. I'll fix that. And if it was me, and what I did was I'd change my nutrition, I'd change my food, I'd change my supplements, I'd change my herbs. I would even change my lifestyle practices and my exercise to suit that particular organ, because that was the one that my body was telling me needed some attention. And of course, the power come from within, as it always does for true empowerment. It came from me. I can interpret it and choose the perception choice that I want to, or at the stage I'm at. It is always great to have a guide or someone to bounce these things off, to understand and to gain some sense of security about these things, and some advice and guidance. Always very helpful, certainly helped me a lot, that's for sure. And then later on, like it happens to me quite often on the train, my either left or right kidney will have a bit of a shake. Or sometimes it's even just the adrenal gland. You just have a little bit of a Kundalini vibration sensation. So that's a sign that I've been taking a little bit too hard. I might rest a bit more, do a bit more meditation and slow practices, and maybe change my asana style, my yoga style from Bikram, although that's always good for sweating out kidney stuff, to a more yin practice, or some more meditation, some slow stuff. Maybe a swim instead of going for a run, or a bike ride instead of going for a run. You know, little adjustments. And this is why it's so important to have that flexibility and adaptability to suit our imbalances in our body rather than our imbalanced perception. After that, what will tend to happen is by then you'll usually have a lot more energy flowing up, and if it gets to a particular spot or a chakra, then guess what? Utilize all of those tools and techniques on that particular one, because that's the weakness at the time. So if we can turn that weakness into a strength, instead of coming down here, you turn it into a strength, you really rise really, really fast. And it certainly helped me tremendously. After that, you'll get onto like subtle systems in the body that need a bit of cleansing and purifying and a bit more attention. After that, when you get into the super subtleties, you'll find parasites, fungus, and candida and gunk, all these sorts of little things that need a bit of attention. And then, of course, we change and we adapt. So this is why there's dietary dogma and like you can only eat vegetarian or vegan. Yeah, they're the ones with the biggest problems, because especially longer term, they're unadaptable. They're not adapting to their body's needs. They're adapting to a concept, which is deficient, simply. So what can we do? We can do lots of things. We just need to correctly interpret and take action, because karma means action. If we want to pump through our karma and our stored gunk, which is the karma in our gut generally, then we need to keep making action and keep moving forward whilst keeping a sense of centered presence and our slow practices in mind as well. So, Kundalini Shakti sensations, energy vibrations, always, every single time, there as a guide to nurture and support us. Isn't that wonderful? Beautiful.